Okay, we're recording. We'll take a few more introductions. If you'd like to shout out your name, where you're calling in from, and then we'll get started.
Frank, our electrician for 20-something years.
Well, maybe we'll just go ahead and mute the lines. And we'll get started. So good morning. Wow, Monday, October 2nd. Can you believe it's already October? And certainly the countdown's on 10 days to convention. Very exciting times in the LifeWave world. And so glad that you could all join us here live or on the replay. Before we get started with today's miracle call, I want to let everybody know, as you know, there's some changes in the works on what we can and cannot say. We've been kind of unbridled, as our attorney said, you know, when David started working with the FDA attorneys back in 2004, and he's got, you know, a top drawer FDA, FTC law firm that works very closely with us. They said, when you first started with your company, it was okay. You're driving 80 miles an hour in a 60-mile-an-hour zone because you're a small company, no one's looking. He says, you're getting to be a pretty big company. We're approaching $40 million a month. And when Robin and I joined 5 years ago, they were doing $20 million a year, you know? So we're doing twice as much a month as we were doing a year back then. And the attorney says, so you're probably gonna have to slow it down to 55, okay? You're gonna have to put the brakes on a little bit. And simultaneous with that, the FDA is in the process of rounding up everything having to do with stem cells and making a pharmaceutical claim, which I think we're going to push back on a little bit, but we don't have clarity on that right now. So the company has said within the next 60 to 90 days, we're going to have clarity on it. You will see some modifications in their websites long before you see modifications in ours. We're not changing anything right now. We won't be changing anything until after the conference. There's a special LifeWave Connect coming up this Wednesday that David's putting on to discuss the situation, you know, so we can all be aware of why the changes are happening, what some of the changes will be. And then at the conference, there'll be more discussions about it. So I'll be working diligently with our web team post-conference to start making some corrective changes. I know Judy Daniel already started making some in Live Younger Products before we had this discussion about no rush. And I've cleared that with Meredith as well with David, that we have at least 60 to 90 days before they're going to require that the changes have been made. And, you know, the company's been accumulating collateral and content for 19 years. We in the Live Younger community have been accumulating it for almost 5 years. It's not going to take us 5 days to go through it all, but we will. So we're just going to kind of let things go as they are. And this call is going to run the same way it did. Our group is probably one of the most compliant groups in the whole company, probably not one of the most. I bet you we are the most compliant group in the whole company because we know the difference between a disease and a symptom. And sadly, a lot of other groups don't. Or even if they do, they never paid any attention to it, which now they're being forced to do. So as a general disclaimer, we'll start doing this more frequently on our calls. Our products are not designed to diagnose, heal, or cure. They do help bring the body back into a more healthy alignment, homeostasis, if you will, and wonderful things can start happening, okay? And the other thing that we learned is, and if somebody says, you know, my mother had arthritis and she got on, you know, the patches, and she's so much better. You know, what David has told us is that after that, or actually, excuse me, it was Ryan, our vice president of sales. He said, after that, you just give a disclaimer. That's wonderful that happened for you or your mother. But in general, you know, our products are not designed to diagnose, heal, or treat. And who's got another story to share? And just move on, okay? Because, you know, personal testimonials are personal testimonials. They are not company product claims. The company is going to be limited in what they can say, but as you know, most of us aren't going to invite the FTC or the FDA into our living room or into the coffee shop or, you know, onto the phone when we're talking to somebody. And you can say, whatever, you can tell your truth. You can tell your story. So with that being said, we're going to start this call out with a focus on X39. We'll shift it towards other products. But if you have a testimonial you'd like to share, a compliant testimonial, please raise your hand. And I'm hosting today. Our host was not available to host. So Dr. Velvet, great to have you start. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate everything that you guys do. You and Robin are just absolutely great. So thank you so much. What I wanted to share is, as a massage therapist for like 23 years, you develop inflammation in joints, and my hands were becoming a real big issue for me. And of course, I've been on the X39 now for 2 years. And it was just last month I realized that I was not having that joint pain anymore. It wasn't hot, and I wasn't having to pop my thumbs back into place anymore. So consistency is key, and you just never know what's going to show up. But what I love about this product is that I'm seeing results every single time. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm not seeing anything, and then all of a sudden I realize, wait a minute, I don't have any more joint pain in my hands. So consistency is key.
And as a health practitioner, I'm sure you know better than most that when people's issues go away, the mind kind of erases them and we kind of forget what we have. And that's why we have the health tracker that we recommend everybody use, because when your owie or your issue is gone, it's like, oh, the product's not working. Oh yeah, but yeah, I do have flexibility. I can reach over my head. All these other things start happening. It's so
It's
funny.
true.
Yeah, that's very true. Thanks for sharing. Let's see who's next. Kristen, go ahead, please. There you go.
I couldn't find the right button.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you, on July 4th, I managed to tear off a toenail.
Oh.
I have never, ever done that. Or even my kids, I was not around when they did it. So I had no idea of what to expect. But I expected that it was going to hurt a lot. Well, it didn't. Within a half an hour, whatever I felt, which was only about a 5 to initially, was down to a 1 or 2. And, life went on and it didn't hurt the next day at all. And 2 months and a week later, I had a complete toenail regrown. And I thought that was really fast. And I looked it up this morning. And according to Healthline, it says it takes 6 months to 2 years to regrow a toenail.
Oh my
Now,
God.
I'm 76 years old, and I'm telling you, things don't grow real fast on my.
Well, this is good news for manicurists and pedicurists, isn't it?
Yes, very definitely. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that the patches, cycle around your body. This computer's being really strange. So you'll be getting well, and then all of a sudden you've got this new owie or an old owie that pops up, and you get discouraged because you think, oh, well, maybe it's not working. Well, I figured out the solution to that. I take my patches off and I put them on my cat. And then I look at my cat when I don't feel good, and I watch her walking around with much more limberness than she had. The excess earwax in her ear is totally gone. The dripping of her eyes is much reduced from when I got her in November. So I think God just gave me the cat so I could experiment. So,
That's wonderful, Kristen. And when those other old owies pop up, that's their remodeling going on when the
I
stem
know.
cells are going into the old injuries and stirring it up, yeah, there can be some discomfort. But the beauty of it is when you get past that, I almost said healed. Okay, it's better. Okay, thanks very much, Kristen. Hey, John.
Hey, Gregory. Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick story about the X39, X49 and what it's done for that after 11 months of wearing the patches, what it's done for my mind. It's very subtle, but now after the accumulation of time, it's been incredible as far as, and I'll equate it to my golf game. The Ryder Cup was this weekend. And when I watched it, I used to get in the past, the pressure is so intense for these players that they have, just a whole arena of people watching them and millions of people on TV watching them, and they're playing for their country. And I could just sit there and watch it and just feel the pressure. My hands would start sweating. I'd said, man, how can these guys do what they're doing? And now it's entirely different, because this is where I've gone with this, is the patches have given me a calmness. They've given me something in my mind that says, giving me more confidence in who I am as a person, because of my cellular structure has been heightened, and it works very much for my mind. So I watched it. I was watching the golf tournament, and I said to myself, I want to be in front of those people too, because my golf game, because of the patches, has really evolved into something that gives me a lot more confidence in what I'm doing.
That's so great. Thanks for sharing. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, Ravel, good morning.
Hi, Gregory. I'm really looking forward to seeing you and Robin present in Orlando.
Yeah,
Very
we're very
soon.
excited about that. Thank you.
And watch you virtually as well, for those who aren't being
Mm-hmm.
there in person. Just really quickly, I'm very excited. I'm reading this because my French isn't very good, and I translate it to English. This week, this is a friend of mine. This is after 3 weeks on X39. This week, I had annual appointments with my immunologist and also with my GP. Oxygen in the blood, 100%. Blood pressure, excellent. Some results following the blood test are normal, good. Just wanted to share that.
That's so awesome. That's great. And since you brought it up, I will mention that Robin and I have been invited to host a session on Saturday afternoon on building the business heart to heart. And that's the title of our conference, right? Our convention, Heart to Heart. And they chose us, Heart to Heart couple, to interview 4 key leaders from around the world to get their opinion on what it means to build the business heart to heart. So really looking forward to that session. Okay, Stacy, good morning. Come on.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Great.
I have a customer who has only been using the X39 for 2 weeks, and she had a tickle in her throat where the butterfly organ is, and the tickle is now gone. And they were looking at having surgery. She was going to have surgery, and since the tickle is gone, she's like, no way. And then she also had a lump on her chest, and it's also gone. And this is after 2 weeks of using the X39.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
so amazing.
And she is, she's in her 70s.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's hope for us 70-year-olds. All right. Thank you.
I have another one. Are we ready for the other patches or not
Oh,
yet?
sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. My cousin, she's been on them for a couple of weeks also, and she put the Ice Wave on her hip. She has a lot of issues because of like being on horses and stuff, a lot of pain. So she's had pain since August 16th. Her pain level was at a 10 and it's now at a 1 or a 2. And this is only after a couple of weeks also. She and her husband are both also using the X39. And then her husband had a really bad, probably a tension headache the other day, and he put it on his temples, and the pain level went from a 10 to a 4. So I'm really happy about that too.
Boy, that's so awesome. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Adele, come on.
Hello. I
Hi.
have a couple things. I realized I'm actually blessed right now. I'm in the island staying at my sister's, and I flew over to Puerto Rico for the weekend last week. And we were driving, and anyone that's been to Puerto Rico, the roads are like this, very narrow in the rainforest and around the whole country, or the state, I guess. And I noticed I wasn't nervous with my friend driving. She drove part of the time, I drove part of the time. And it was a scary place. And I didn't realize that I had not been a backseat driver at all until I was driving, and she kept going because it was scary. I mean, we're in it and it was raining, and I thought, wow, I am so calm. I thought about it, but I really realized it when she was driving, just how it was like, that's most likely X39. I had another, I want to read this because, and that was, John, you made me think about that. This is from someone in France who I don't know. She found me on Facebook. She says, "Dear Adele, great news. I'm not using my walking stick anymore. Unbelievable. I'm so happy. 7 years of a walking stick." She started using the patches mid-July. So it's 3 months now. And then she says, she forgot to tell me she's also lost 17 pounds. Now, she said part of that she had started releasing before, but it's kept going. So, and she told me the first week her husband noticed she was walking better, but she didn't notice it at first. And then all of a sudden she's not using it. So she just ordered 10 packages of X39 because they're going to be traveling. And she and her husband want to make sure they didn't run out. So pretty cool.
That's so awesome.
They're
Thank you.
amazing.
And maybe we'll have to start calling this the Racer's Edge, huh? That's great. Okay, Megan, would you like to come on?
Hey,
There you go.
everybody.
Hi there.
So you said it's okay we talk about other patches now?
Yeah, it's fine. Uh-huh.
Okay, so my mom and I actually went on a cruise a couple weeks ago, and part of my favorite thing was getting to try new foods. However, I have sensitivities to some certain foods, and I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna try it anyway. Well, sometimes they end up causing me to like get fever blisters. And so I started noticing that I was getting one, and I put a carnosine patch right here, and it never festered. So like, I'm so excited. I mean, I'm still going to try new foods, whether that happens or not, but like, I was really happy because like the fever blister didn't fester and it wasn't very painful. So I just wanted to share that.
That's great news. That's great news. Thanks very much. Congratulations. Who else would like to share? We got time for a few more. If you guys would like. Okay, Dr. Velvet, round 2, go back to you.
Well, I did an event with one of my brand partners yesterday, and we had a gentleman there that could not clench his fist. Like it was only like this that he could do. And he said the pain was through here. So we took the Ice Wave and placed it right on top of his wrist. And then of course we did the suggested movement like David suggests. And this gentleman, when he had it in the right spot for him, where he no longer had uncomfortableness, he clenched his fist and he did like this. And he looked at me and he was like, "What? How did that happen?" And so, you know, it's just always a pleasure when we're working with other people and they experience movement that they've not been able to have in years. And he was just in awe.
Isn't that wonderful? Oh, thanks so much for sharing. That's a great story. Okay. Hey, good morning, Janet.
Good morning, everybody. I wanted to share one of my customers who is very excited because he is a contractor who's not been able to get up and down on ladders in the last year or so because of pain, and also having a lot of feet issues. And he's so excited. He's able to climb up and down the ladders again. He's doing really well. His feet aren't hurting. So now he wants to share LifeWave with others and be a brand partner.
Oh, yay. Congratulations. We love it. That's the natural progression of belief. And once people know what we have, how can you not share it? I mean, that's our story. Robin started as a customer and it worked so well. She had to whisper it to a few friends who started whispering to a few friends before we know it. You know, we've impacted thousands of lives. Thanks very much.
Also from Mexico originally, so he's got lots of ties to there. So that's exciting.
That's great. And they just had the grand opening of their new office in Guadalajara 2 weeks ago. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, let's, Paula, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I've had many of wonderful experiences with LifeWave. I've been on since January. And my most recent, I went to the doctor last week and I explained to him that I'd been on it, and I've come off many medications since then, and great mental clarity. My blood work is great, has never been great over many years. I have many autoimmunes and conditions, and they're all dormant right now, I will say. And my doctor said, I'm so proud of you, whatever you're doing, which I explained to him. He said, you just keep doing it and do it and do it and do it. He could not quit saying how proud he was of me. So
you're under
he's-
doctor's orders now.
I am. And he was just
That's
over
so,
the moon.
that's so great. Congratulations,
Thank
Paula.
you.
That's awesome. Hey, Dr. Tom, good morning.
Hey, that is great. That's fantastic. I have a similar story that Adele's story reminded me of. I haven't spoken this in a while, but very early on, I'm coming up on 3 years using these technologies, both on me and plenty of other people, loving it. And I got a hello stranger email this morning from one of my favorite guys. And I almost thought it was spam, but I opened it and he said, sorry, I haven't been around for a while, but I've been really busy and feeling great. So this was, we were working an expo 2.5 years ago, and a gentleman, his wife came over. They're geode dealers. They travel the world helping people heal. They speak crystal healing. And she came over and she said, Jim's had a stroke. And so darn, heard the story, went over, talked to him, patched him up. He was using a walker at the time. Patched him up, I think Pain first, and then Eon, and also put X39 on him. Hours later in the afternoon, I look down the aisle from our exhibition booth and I see him walking toward me, holding his walker in the air. It was one of my favorites, and over the course, so his email this morning, he said, blah, blah, blah. He said, X39 patches are great. My therapist's interested. I love the way he closed the email, which is, how are you doing? Silly question. Having fun with life now. Right.
What a
So
great story.
we do get to kind of
I
walk
have
the
a
talk.
picture of him walking down the aisle with his walker.
I wish I only have it in my brain, but
That's
maybe
great.
maybe now that we're computer integrated, maybe I can download it.
Yeah, that's right. You get the implant, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, good morning, Heidi.
Good morning. Are we doing support patches as well? I
Oh,
jumped on
yeah.
after I got out of a rainstorm.
Yes.
I have a 71-year-old surfer story. I met, I guess it's been a little over a month now in New Smyrna, Florida. Anyway, we became friends. He talked about some back pain. He said he was a contractor. He still does jobs every day. And he says, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this 700-pound door installation tomorrow. And I says, well, you've been wearing your Eon patches every day, or rather every night. He says, yeah, why? And I went, just tell me how your installation goes tomorrow. So then that following morning, I followed up with him and I said, so did you get that door installed? And he goes, yeah. And I went surfing afterwards, and then I went deep sea fishing kind of bit. And I'm like, oh, so you were wearing the patches for a full 7 days, right? He goes, yeah, why are you asking? And I'm like, that's because you got to do all three things. Install a 700-pound door. You're 71 years old. You've been complaining about back pain while you're sleeping, and you've been sleeping on your couch. And I said, where did you sleep? And he goes, oh, I slept on my couch, but I didn't have to use a double pillow.
That's so great.
Anyway, all this stuff, all because he was on Eon for 7 days.
That's so awesome. Oh my gosh. And that was prior to the birth of X39. That was the flagship product. And it still kind of is. It's like number 2, no doubt about it, in the lineup with LifeWave. Okay, we have time for 1 or 2 more. If anyone else would like to share a story. Okay, Anne, come on.
Hey there, good morning. I was listening this morning to everyone and I was remembering that, years ago when I would go to sleep at night, I only slept in certain positions because I couldn't sleep on my belly anymore. It was uncomfortable. And I can tell you that now it's been a little over 3 years with the X39. I do X39, X49 pretty consistently, and I can sleep in any position. And I love sleeping on my belly. It's the most comfortable position that I have always liked, but I hadn't been able to do it for so long. And, as I was listening this morning, I thought, you know what? Didn't even dawn on me that now I can sleep any way I want without even thinking twice of it. It just sort of naturally happens and you don't pay attention to some of those things, right? So so thanks for some of those shares earlier because it kind of triggered that memory for me.
Isn't that fun? I
It
think it's great. Hey, good morning, Sarah.
Mute myself.
There you go.
I have a brand partner who I met with the other day, and he gave me back the X39, a packet of X39 that was half full. And I said, why are you doing this? He said, because Nirvana does everything for me. I feel energetic, I feel happy, I feel full of energy. I was shocked. I had to convince him to take back the X39.
Oh,
But
boy.
I just think it was a really an incredible testimonial for Nirvana.
Yeah, and hopefully that it comes available again sometime soon.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we're just about to the bottom of the hour. Any one or two more, or we can always wrap up a minute early. So thank you very much, Sarah. And as I said, I'll just kind of go into a wrap for today. And so tonight we are going to be talking about, Nara, sorry, I didn't mean to showcase you again. Tonight we're going to be talking about Robin.
Morning.
No, Robin wants to say hello, and she'll kind of brief you on what we're talking about tonight.
So
Now she knows.
so what we're, when things change is when we get to be creative and we get to be flexible. And so everybody, most everyone has built their business heart to heart, person to person. So we're just going to continue to support people in doing what has worked since the beginning. We do have some, interesting opportunities with some new languaging and a variety of things, but we're going to be creative, but we're going to do what works. And what works is sharing in your living room. And Marcy's group we've been calling them home meetings. They call them patch parties. And I don't know what you guys think, but let us know what you think about patch parties as a
Patching
name.
parties, yeah.
Patching parties.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that tonight and continue to move things forward and know that there's not even a hiccup in the way.
That's
So
right.
just keep going and doing what you've been doing that's been working, and maybe we'll rename them too. We'll get some feedback from you guys. So we'll be talking about patching parties tonight.
And watch parties. That's like a super patch party because it's going to be a live broadcast from Orlando. How
Yeah.
fun that's going to be. Okay, so we'll kind of come in for something else.
And Dr. Henrietta is scheduled for tonight. Tomorrow night. I'm waiting for confirmation. So just know we will have confirmation of who our practitioner is for Testimonial Tuesdays. And all of you guys that shared today, you can share on Tuesday. We do, we're always looking for stories because that is the lifeblood of our business. So we love when you share. And isn't it fun to have those awarenesses like, whoa, I wasn't sweating, and everything just works better.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
And pay attention to whatever the notice from corporate is about when David's going to be on. There is an emergency broadcast scheduled from FEMA on Wednesday at 2:20 Eastern for a half hour. and that might interfere with LifeWave Connect. So we'll get it all figured out. It'll at least get taped, but we don't know. And just know that that may happen. It's supposed, if you go to the FEMA website, it's happening everywhere.
English muffin.
Yep. Time for an English muffin.
Okay.
That English muffin going.
Hi, Gregory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Hi,
Great
thank you.
job.
Bye.
Good night.
Great day, everybody.
Great Zoom.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Dr.
Nice
Tom.
share.
Good to
Dr.
see
Tom.
everybody. Soon hugs.
What a great business.
It is.